Welcome to another Farming Simulator 19 Basics video. I'm Nick and I'm just doing a FS19 beginner's guide for all you guys who are quite new to the game. It's one of the free games on PlayStation Plus this month, so there's a lot of people out there who are new to this game, so this guide is really for you. If you're experienced in the game, stick around, you might get something from the video, but there you go. So today we are talking about forestry. Now, when we talk about forestry, I'm not really talking about chopping trees down like this and selling them. Yes, you can chop them down with the chainsaw here, and you can chop them up and put them in the back of a van or your pickup and make some money out of them there, but that's not going to make you a lot of money and it's very time consuming. What we're talking about is actual forestry, so let's go and have a look. A quick look at the equipment we're going to be using then. I'm just going to the shop, into tools, forestry equipment, and there we go. The first thing there, the Damcon PL75 for 26,000. That will plant the trees for us, and it will also plant the poplars, which we're going to be doing a bit later. So into pallets, and we've got the pallet of saplings. We've got these ones, the pine saplings, which we are using, but there's also the poplar saplings, which we'll be getting a bit later. To load up, very simple, just like you're doing with any seeder or sower. You just back up to it, press L3, and it loads for you. So let's go. We're going to be working down on field 11, one of the fields that you get right at the start of the game on New Farmer. So I'll see you there. Okay, ready to plant then, and as you can see, I'm not actually planting on the field. With the pines, you do not need to plant on the field. As long as you own the ground, you're okay. With the poplars, they have to be on a field. As I said, the pines, you do not. So I'm going to try and get these pallet of 20 sown here. Actually, I don't think I'm going to have enough room to get them all planted in one straight line. We'll just have to say I might have one or two left at the end. If I do, it's not a problem. I'll just turn around and plant them next to the row that I'm planting here. On New Farmer, the plant growth setting by default is on fast. So these trees will take 10 days to grow. Obviously, if you've got it on normal or slow plant growth, it's going to take longer than that. But yeah, you need to be planting them and then getting on with other jobs, maybe doing fields, maybe doing some animals whilst these are growing. If you really want to get into your forestry, then maybe you could plant a pallet each day for those 10 days, and then obviously you're going to have a lot of money coming in from then. But no, like I thought, I don't think I'm going to have enough room to plant all these to the end. No, it says I've got 6 left there. There's 20 in the pallet. So yeah, I think I'm just going to have to turn around, and it's not a problem. I'll just plant them right next to the other ones. It just looks nice, neat and tidy when you plant them in rows. I'm doing this myself. If I was planting them in a field, some people do like to put them in a field, and you can grow a real tree nursery going on there. And it does look really neat and tidy. It looks really nice, to be truthful. But yeah, in my opinion, why waste a field? That field could be used to be growing another crop. So just get these last couple planted, and there we go. So I'm going to go and buy some poplar saplings now. You can't even see these saplings that I've just planted. You can just about, and there you go. Yeah, just to show you that they are actually planted there. Like I said, I'm going to go and get some poplar saplings, and I'll be right back with you. 2,000 poplar saplings to the pallet then, and we're just going to pay a worker to do the job for us. He'll get it in nice straight lines, and it'll be very easy to harvest. Oh, I think I've actually yeah, I have. I've left it on worker buying the fuel and the seeds and what have you, so I'll turn all those off. If you didn't know, on these settings, if the worker buys, yes, you don't have to keep going to and fro from the shop or the fuel station or wherever it is to buy any more seed or fuel, but worker buying, it will cost you 50% more. And to be honest, it adds to the game. I think if you're having to transport the seeds, do you drive the seeder to the shop, or do you buy a trailer and a forklift and transport it to your farm yourself? It just adds another element to the game, so I like to do that, and obviously it's cheaper. So I think I'm going off topic a bit there, so we'll get back to the poplars. 2,000 poplar saplings, and that should just about fill this field. I might have just a few left over. We will see in a while. The poplars take around double the time of regular crops to grow, and you don't need to weed or fertilize or anything like that. You don't even need to cultivate the land first. You can just harvest whatever crop was on there and then go straight onto the poplars. So they're very easy in that way. You just plant them and forget about them for a couple of days until they are ready to harvest. And there we go, nearly finished now. About 2,000 poplars planted in the field. All I need to do now is get all my harvesting equipment together while we're waiting for it to grow. And I think I'll just speed up time a little bit, so I'm not just sat around too long. We're on times 5. Yeah, we'll get it to times 120, so it'll just fly by with time. But yeah, I'll see you in just a moment. I'm using here a New Holland forage harvester with the poplar header attached to the front there, and this trailer. Now, there's only a couple of in-game trailers that attach to this forest harvester, and it's the ones with the A-frames instead of the regular tow bars. There's this one, and there's one in sugar beet technology. It's the big yellow one. So you want to be using either of those two to get this job done. Now, I'm using a helper to do the job. There are other ways of doing it, and we'll touch on those in just a moment. Sometimes the helper doesn't go all the way to the end of the field, and it can be really, really annoying. And what you've got to do then is, once he's finished the job, you've got to jump in the harvester yourself and finish up. So in fact, yeah, he's already doing it. He's stopped harvesting there. So yeah, he's going to turn round and start again. I don't know if it's where the roll staggers a little bit or whatever it is, the game mechanics. He's not gone to the end of the row. It doesn't matter. I can clean up at the end. Just something to point out though, as he's just turned around in the crop, if you tried doing that, it would destroy your crop. It's just like any of the other crops. After the first stage of growth, if you drive through it, you're going to start destroying your crop. So, as I said, there's two ways of doing it. You've got the two trailers that can attach to the back of the forage harvester, or you can drive alongside the forage harvester with a different trailer. It doesn't have to be one that can connect to it, obviously. It just needs to be able to take poplars, and there you go. So I find this a bit easier way of doing it, and you're actually putting a bit of input yourself instead of just letting the worker do it all the time. Now, as you can see there, I am actually still next to the forage harvester, but he stopped harvesting. Now, for some reason, they want to put it in the front of the trailer. If you let the part get to the back of the trailer, he's going to stop. The good thing about when the worker is doing it instead of yourself driving the forage harvester, if the trailer isn't next to it, he will stop. So he's not going to be wasting any of your crop. Now, I'm going to come up to the bit here where he hasn't harvested all the way, so I'm going to have to stop, otherwise I will damage my crop, so I don't want to be doing that. We've near enough finished harvesting here. Now, it's taken quite some time. There's been a couple of awkward bits where we've needed to
take over from the helper ourselves, but we've got the job done eventually. We just need to ship it all up to the sawmill and find out how much money we're going to make. One very important thing that I haven't mentioned yet is that the poplars regrow. You only have to plant them once and they will keep regrowing and keep regrowing. So yeah, you only have to go through the planting process once. So that's a big bonus on the poplars there. Now, we've made all these wood chips and this is the first trailer load, and we'll see what we're going to get from it. I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's not a lot, but let's just see. Let's see. We need to get it so the trailer is just in the marked area there. Oh, nearly. Yes, alright, I need to stop when it comes up there. It can be really awkward. As I mentioned earlier, these A-frame trailers can be quite awkward to reverse. We'll get it in just a moment. Yeah, it's tipping there. And what have we got? 2,362. Now that was from 21,000 litres. Yeah, it's 21,000 litre trailer this. So yeah, it's not a lot of money at all, really. So let's just get the other trailers and see how much we make in total. So here's the second trailer, and this one was only half full when we started, so I'm not expecting very much from this. And we've got $1,464 from that. Now we've just got one more trailer to go. And we've got the last trailer. This is the one I drove up alongside. It's just got the regular tow hitch at the back, so I can back up quite easily. And it's only going to be a few $100s for this one. So yeah, the big question, is it worth it? And I'm going to say, because they regrow, then maybe, yeah, you could make it work. But if you only wanted to do it as a short-term thing, it's definitely not worth it. We got $453 from that one, and that brings the total up to 4,279 from one full field of poplars. Okay then, we are 10 game days later, and we've come back to the area where we planted the trees. These aren't the ones, I'm just showing you the trees. These are the ones that are already there, and your big forestry equipment does not cut these trees down. However, these tall ones right at the back here, you will be able to harvest those ones, so they're just an added bonus. But here are the saplings that we planted 10 days ago, and as you can see, they've grown pretty huge there, and we're going to make a lot of money from these. So it's completely opposite to the poplars, where they regrow but you make very little money from these. Obviously on the pines they only grow the once, but you can make a lot of money. So we are going to use, I think, the Scorpion King. Yeah, we'll go for the Scorpion King. It's probably the best tree cutter. Now, as you can see, it's $440,000 to buy. We're not going to buy it. We're going to lease it for $22,000. So if you were going to do this for the first time, I would highly recommend you just leasing the equipment. If you go and buy the equipment and you decide you don't like forestry, then it's a hell of a lot of money that you've just spent. We're going to make up that money that I've just leased quite easily, that I've just spent on leasing, should I say, quite easily, just from these pine trees. The Scorpion King then, the controls, they seem quite complicated at first, but I'll be honest with you, they are quite simple once you get used to it. You'll have to forgive me, I'm a little bit rusty, I haven't done forestry for a while, but yeah, you can go out and in, you can go left and right, you can go up and down, and it really is that simple. So all you do is approach the tree, you can push the cutter out there until it says cut. When you get it to the base of the tree, sometimes it's easier to get it part way up the tree and then just bring the cutter straight down. Now, the other thing to note is the cut length. It's by default it's on 1 meter. You do not want to be cutting it at 1 meter. You get more money the longer the log. It's the length and how straight the log is will give you more money. So we want to be getting it right at the bottom, 'cause that's where the tree is the thickest, and yeah, you're going to get more for that. And we've got it the cut length to 8 meters, and we just press cut and it will cut you a length of 8 meters. And we'll do it again. It will take all the small branches off for you, so you don't have to worry about that, and keep going. And you get, I think it's 5 8-meter lengths from these pine trees. Obviously, if you don't wait till they're fully grown, you're not going to get as much. And there you go. It really is that simple. Let's just go for one more tree. I'm not going to keep you watching while I cut all 20 trees, don't worry. And yeah, down to the bottom, and there you go. It says cut. I've got it in the correct position. We'll cut that. If the Scorpion King, as mine is here, is going up on its side wheels, don't worry. It's even if it does tip, it's very easy to get straight, to get right the right way up. And there we go. So that's another tree harvested. I'm going to crack on and get the rest of them done, and I'll be back to you in a moment. I did just say that you get 5 lengths of wood. You actually get 4 8-meter lengths of wood per tree. So we're at the last tree now. Just need to get this one cut, and then we can get them all collected and off to the sawmill. Okay, it's saying, right, okay, it just said there that the tree was too thick for the machine. Now, if it does say that, just go up just so slightly and you'll be able to cut it. Don't worry about that. Now, if you're wondering where the poplars have gone, as I did say that they regrow and regrow, I knew that the logs from these trees would be falling into the field, so I got rid of the poplars and just planted some grass there so that we could see what was going on. Okay then, back to the self-propelled forest machinery, and here we have the Buffalo, $221,000 to buy, or $11,271 to lease. So that's what we're doing, we're leasing it, and we'll get it back to the logs. Okay then, the Buffalo, a little more complicated to use than the Scorpion King, but again, you will get used to it after not too long a time. So you move the arm up, down, left, right, in, out, but also there's the grabber, which you can spin around, as I just did, open and obviously close it to grab hold of the logs. It does take some time to get used to, as I've said, but once you do get used to it, it's easy enough to do. Now, with placing the logs in the bed of the Buffalo here, on the trailer bed of the Buffalo, again, it's something you need to practice, and yeah, the more you do, the better you'll get at it. At first, it can be quite frustrating. The way I found of doing it best is once you've got it into position like this, I fasten all the tension straps, and there you go. So now when I let go, the log's going to stay in the same position. If you don't use the tension straps, each time you try and place a log, you're going to move around the logs that are already on there, and it's going to be a bit of a nightmare for you, and the Buffalo will get full very soon. You won't have very many logs in there because they'll all be in the way, and you're going to be making a lot of journeys between wherever you're doing the logging and the sawmill. So I think I've got 2 there. That's what you want to try to avoid, getting 2 logs at once. If you try putting 2 logs in there, I can promise you it's going to go wrong at some point. So if I pick 2 up, I just move them around a bit, drop them both so that they split like they just have done there, and then I can pick up each log on its own. And once I get this one in, I'll show it'll be a bit more apparent why I use the tension straps. We come along, spin it round, keep the tension straps fastened until you lower down. Now this log doesn't have to be in the exact position, but it needs to be in the right position, but not the right height. It can still be a little higher than the other logs when you put the tension straps back on. If I can get it into place. Like I say, it can be a bit tricky at first, and it is a while since I've done any forestry, so yeah. Right, okay, so I'll let go of the tension straps now, and then redo them up before I let go, and there you go. Now if you let go there, the log will just settle into place, and you keep going like that until you've got a full trailer. Now the Buffalo is designed to take, I believe it's 6 meter logs. We've done 8 meter logs here, and as you can see, they still do fit on. They just hang over the back a little bit. There are semi-trailers that you can fit the longer logs on if you wanted to do it that way, but as I said, I can actually get the 8 meter logs onto the Buffalo, so why not? The 8 meters you can sell for more money than if they were 6 meters, so yeah, why not indeed. So we'll just get this next one on, and then I'm going to jump forward to when I've nearly completed the job. As you can see, we're there, so the straps off, then back on straight away, and there you go. Let go of the straps again, and the logs will just settle into place. Put the straps back on, and yeah, this way, as I've said, you're going to get a lot of logs on there, and you're going to make less journeys, and it's going to look nice and tidy as well. Okay then, this is my first load up to the sawmill, and as you can see, I've got quite a lot of logs on there. I've got them nice and straight. If I hadn't been doing it with the tension straps away, I've shown you, then I wouldn't have got half the amount on here. So let's just see how much money I'm going to make. It's going to be a lot better than the wood chips, I can tell you that. And $37,288, and I'm not even halfway there yet. So yeah, we're going to make a lot of money from this logging. As mentioned earlier, the straighter the log, the more money you're going to make. So we're just going to take the very top off the tree, and we're going to cut it off there. And yeah, because that would have devalued the log if we'd left that one on. Okay then, this is the last load of logs up to the sawmill, and so far I've earned $115,685 from these trees. So yeah, it is really a lot of money you can get from doing this. Now let's just see what I get from this lot. Yeah, and if you wanted to be doing this, as I mentioned earlier, if you wanted to, say, plant a pallet of trees every day, you know, by day 10 when you start to harvest them, you are making a lot of money from then on in. But let's just see what we get here. 31,610. So that added to the 15,000, about 147,295 if my quick calculations are correct there. So yeah, we've just made an absolute bucket of money there from this forestry. As we mentioned earlier in the video, the poplar not very profitable, but the actual logging, yeah, it really is. Now what I've really talked about today is the trees when you're planting them yourselves and going along and harvest them. There are plenty of trees on the map already that you do not have to plant yourself, but I like just doing it nice and tidy on your own, in your own area, what have you. What you can do is buy a parcel of land, harvest all the trees on there that you can, as we've mentioned, there are a lot of trees that the Scorpion King won't work with, or any of the tree cutting machines won't work with, but there are also plenty of trees on the map that they will work with. So you can buy that parcel of land, harvest all the trees on there that can be harvested, and then sell that parcel of land for the exact same amount of money that you paid for it and move on to the next one. That is what a lot of people do, and that's their prerogative. That's how they like to play, so it really is up to you. Like I said, I like to just plant my own trees, get them in a nice straight line. I just think it looks really good there. So guys, I hope you've got something from this video. I hope it helps you in your early forestry career. And yeah, there's going to be more videos like this going out, more FS19 basics videos. So if you haven't already, you might want to think about subscribing, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss any more of our videos like the one shown on screen right now. Guys, thanks very much for watching. Have an amazing day.